Hi students, in the previous video you have seen the concept of sandwich theorem for sequences. In this video I am going to discuss Cauchy's first theorem on limits for sequences. Let us move to the statement of the theorem. Let an be a sequence, and if an converges to a, then a1 plus a2 plus and so on plus n by n also converges to the limit a. So I'll repeat the theorem statement of the theorem. If limit of n as n tends to infinity, that is a, where a is the limit of the sequence n, then you have to prove that limit of a1 plus a2 plus a3 and so on plus an by n has n tends to infinity, that is equal to a. So now let us move to the proof of the theorem. So proof is very simple. Since n converges to a, then the sequence n is bounded, which you have seen already. If the sequence is convergent sequence, obviously the sequence is bounded. Hence there exists m is positive, there exists m is positive such that an less than or equal to m for all n greater than or equal to 1. So where m is the upper bound of the sequence an. So since n is bounded, we have that m is the upper bound of the sequence n. So take it as equation 1. Let epsilon be given is a positive, since n converges to a, there exists n belongs to the natural number n such that modulus of n minus a less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to n. So this is the definition of the convergent sequence. So distance from n to a always less than epsilon by 2. It is true for all n greater than or equal to n. So now we have to prove that. So a1 plus a2, a3 and so on n by n also converges to a. So now we consider this is you take it as equation 2. This is, so now we consider modulus of 1 by n into a1 plus a2 and so on plus an minus a. But we need to show that, so this is converges to a. So I consider this. So this is equal to anyway n is a positive integer, so take it outside from the modulus. 1 by n modulus of a1 plus a2 and so on plus an minus n a. So taken the LCM here, minus n a. So by using the, okay, this is equal to 1 by n a1, this is n times of a. You take 1 a here, a1 minus a plus second a take here plus etc plus an minus a, nth a taken a. Splitted n times of a splitted for each term here. So by using the inequality less than or equal to 1 by n, modulus of a1 minus a plus modulus of a2 minus a plus and so on plus modulus of n minus a. So this is equal to 1 by n. So this is true for all n greater than or equal to 1. So I introduce n here. So this small n is always greater than or equal to capital N. So n between 1 to n here. So modulus of a1 minus a plus modulus of a2 minus a plus and so on plus modulus of a capital N minus a plus modulus of a capital A n plus 1 minus a plus and so on plus a n minus a. Now, so this is equal to modulus of a1 minus a plus modulus of a2 minus a plus and so on plus modulus of an minus a divided by n plus rest of terms modulus of an plus 1 minus a plus and so on modulus of n minus a by n. This is less than or equal to, a1 minus a. So you can observe here an is bounded sequence. So an always less than or equal to m for all n greater than or equal to 1, and using 2 modulus of an minus a less than epsilon by 2. So let us take an maximum value. We can take or can consider that is m. So for all n greater than or equal to 1, an is less than or equal to m. It means, for example, graphically we can show that. So this is m. So it may go like this. So this is sequence. So this sequence is bounded by above by the real number m. So therefore all n is always less than or equal to m. Now using equations 1 and 2, here you can write. So these how many terms are there? First, second, there are n terms, capital N terms. This is less than or equal to n times of, you take maximum value of an values, that is capital M minus modulus of a, subtract with the limit here by this n, all right, plus rest of the terms there are n minus 1 terms, n minus n terms. So n terms I consider in the first case here, n minus, this is the rest of term is n minus capital N by n. So for all n greater than n, so this is always less than epsilon by 2. For all n greater than, using equation 2, modulus of n minus a less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than n greater than capital N. So therefore we can write here modulus of n plus 1 minus a, that is less than epsilon by 2. So and so on. Modulus of n minus a also less than epsilon by 2. This is how many terms are there? N minus n terms by n as it is written into epsilon by 2. So this is true for all n greater than or equal to n or greater than n also. Using 1 and 2 are written here. Okay. This is less than, you can neglect this here, strictly less than here, n times of m minus modulus of a by n plus epsilon by 2. Now let us see what is going to be happen in this term here. Since n times of m minus by n is equal to 0 has a limit n tends to infinity. Anything by infinity, that is 0. Therefore, with the help of the convergence sequence, there exists n1 belongs to n natural number n such that modulus of n times of m minus modulus of a by n limit is 0 less than epsilon by 2 for all n greater than or equal to n dash. This let us take n1 greater than or equal to n1. Now we choose n2 is equal to maximum of n comma n1. So then using equation 3 and 4, modulus of 1 by n into a1 plus a2 and so on plus an minus a is less than epsilon by 2. For this case also we can write less than epsilon by 2. For this case also we can write less than epsilon by 2 plus epsilon by 2. So this is equal to epsilon. Therefore we can write, let me write here, limit of n tends to infinity of 1 by n modulus of 1 by n a1 plus a2 and so on plus an minus a is equal to a. Sorry. Is equal to a. So this implies 1 by n into a1 plus a2 and so on plus an converges to a when nth term of this term converges to a. Therefore, if the sequence an converges to a, then the sequence a1 plus a2 and so on plus an by n also converges to a. Question arises, so what is the converse part of the Cauchy's first theorem? Converse part of the Cauchy's first theorem on limits is if a1 plus a2 and so on plus n by n converges to a, then you have to see that whether the sequence n converges to a or not. You have to see, check it out. But converse is not true. For instance, for example, let an is equal to minus 1 to the power of n. So where n is equal to, you know that 1 if n is even, minus 1 if n is odd. Let us check. So what is the, now we have a1 plus a2 plus an by n is equal to, you know that 0 if n is even, minus 1 by n if n is odd. Let us see. If n is even, that is always 0. So a1 plus a2. a1 is minus 1 and a2 is plus 1. Minus 1 plus 1 0. If n is even. If n is odd, a1 is minus 1, a2 is plus 1 and a3 is again minus 1. So that goes to minus 1. As well, 1 by, in the denominator we have n, that is 1 minus 1 by n. If n is even, so this whole term is equal to 0. So when n is odd, the term is minus 1 by n. Okay. So it is easy to show that minus 1 by n goes to 0 as n increases. So therefore, limit as n tends to infinity, a1 plus a2 and so on plus an by n is equal to 0. So 0 is a finite limit. So it converges to 0. But the sequence an, that is equal to minus 1 to the power of n is not a convergent sequence. So therefore, the converse of the Cauchy first theorem on limits is not true. So what is the converse of the Cauchy's theorem? If a1 plus a2 and so on plus an by n tends to a, converges to a, then to show that the sequence n also converges to a. So this is not possible. So for example, you can observe that, so an is equal to minus 1 to the power of n is not a convergent sequence, but a1 plus a2 plus and so on an by n is always convergent sequence. It converges to 0. So therefore converse is not true. Now let us move to the next theorem. If a and b a sequence such that a ratio of an and an plus 1, limit of an plus 1 by an as n tends to infinity a, it is converges to a, and modulus of a is less than 1, then limit of n as n tends to infinity, that is always 0. Second, next theorem, if a and be a sequence such that limit of n plus 1 by n as n tends to infinity, that is equal to a, and modulus of a is greater than 1, then limit of n as n tends to infinity, that is always infinity. Now let us move to the problem on the basis of the theorems. Find the limit of 1 by square root of n square plus 1 plus 1 by square root of n square plus 2 and so on plus 1 by square root of n square plus 1. So the same problem is solved with the help of the sandwich theorem. So there easily we can solve, but here we cannot apply the Cauchy's theorem because we don't get the nth term. Suppose if I take nth term is 1 by square root of n square plus n, this is true for all n greater than or equal to 1, but we cannot find out a1. So a1 is equal to 1 by square root of 1 square plus 1. So but an is here 1 by n square plus 1. So to solve this problem, Cauchy's theorem will not fit. So easily we can solve the by the help of the sandwich theorem. So there we solved this problem in fact. Now let us move to the next problem. Find the limit of the sequence 1 plus 2 to the power of 1 by 2 plus 3 to the power of 1 by 3 and so on plus n to the power of 1 by n. So here we know that we have Cauchy's theorem. First theorem on limit for the sequences. A1 limit as n tends to infinity a1 plus a2 plus an by n, where an is equal to here. We can compare with given problem where n is equal to, we can take n to the power of 1 by n. Suppose if this is a if nth term is converges to some finite limit point, so obviously we can say that it is a convergent sequence, and also we can find out the limit of that sequence. So now limit of n as n tends to infinity is equal to limit of n to the power of 1 by n as n tends to infinity. That is from the properties, that is one, we put that result here. So that is one. Therefore n converges to 1 as n tends to infinity. So by using the Cauchy's first theorem on limits, limit as n tends to infinity of 1 by n into 1 plus 2 power 1 by 2 and so on plus n power 1 by n is also a 1. So by using the Cauchy first theorem, we can prove that we can find a limit that is 1, because so nth term is converges to 1 as n increases. So now let us consider next problem. Find the limit of the sequence 1 by square root of n plus 1 by square root of n plus 1 and so on plus 1 by square root of 2n as n tends to infinity. So this is, take it as bn. Let bn is equal to 1 by square root of n plus 1 by square root of n plus 1 and so on plus 1 by square root of 2n, that is greater than or equal to this. There are n plus 1 terms are here, 1 2 3, the n term and one more term here, n plus 1 divided by square root of 2n. So this term is always greater than or equal to n plus 1 by square root of 2n. So this is true for all n greater than or equal to 1. So this, take it as an. By using the theorem we can write now limit as n tends to infinity of the sequence n, that is equal to limit as n tends to infinity n plus 1 by square root of 2n. So we take n outside here, limit as n tends to infinity. If we take n outside, 1 plus 1 by n divided by 2 into square root of n. So n can be written as root n into square root of n, get cancel. So when you apply the limits, this is infinity. If the sequence n, you take it as this is sequence n. Sequence n is divergence, therefore bn also divergent sequence, diverges to infinity. Therefore limit as n tends to infinity of the sequence 1 by square root of n plus 1 by square root of n plus 1 and so on plus 1 by square root of 2n, that is equal to infinity. But here using theorem I proved that, but we cannot apply the Cauchy theorem because so we don't get nth term here. Suppose if you consider let n is equal to 1 by square root of 2n, but it should be true for all n greater than or equal to 1. If I take n is equal to 1, so we'll get a1 is equal to 1 by square root of 2, but here first term is 1 by square root of n, so that we cannot apply the Cauchy theorem for the first theorem on limits for the sequences, so that we can show that we can find the limit of the sequence with the help of the theorem which we discussed earlier in the previous videos. Sorry. Now let us move to the next problem. So one can find the limit with the help of the Cauchy first theorem on limits. Now we know that Cauchy first theorem on limits, limit as n tends to infinity, a1 plus a2 plus and so on an by n should be a, because since an converges to a as n increases. Now you can consider an as a 1 by n. So an is 1 by n. So therefore a1 is equal to, this is true for all n greater than or equal to 1. So when n is 1, we will have a first term. When n is 2, we have a second term. When n is 3, we have third term, and so on. So we can apply the Cauchy's first theorem on limits for the sequence. Let n is equal to 1 by n. Now limit as n tends to infinity of the sequence n is equal to limit as n tends to infinity of the sequence 1 by n, that is 0. So this implies n converges to 0 as n increases. So therefore limit as n tends to infinity 1 by n into 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 and so on plus 1 by n is equal to 0. So now let us consider next problem. Show that limit as n tends to infinity x power n by n factorial is equal to 0. So to prove this, to show this result, let us recall the theorem which we discussed. If n be a sequence such that limit as n tends to infinity an plus 1 by n is equal to L, and L is a finite real number. If and L is less than 1, then limit as n tends to infinity of sequence n is equal to 0. If the ratio as n tends to infinity, if it is L and L is less than 1, so then we can prove that limit of the sequence n as n tends to infinity, that is 0. So to prove this result, let us apply this theorem. Here let us move to solution. En is equal to x power n by n factorial. Then n plus 1 is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 factorial. Now limit as n tends to infinity an plus 1 by an, limit as n tends to infinity x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 factorial into by n, that is n factorial goes to numerator by x power n. So this is equal to limit as n tends to infinity x power n get cancel, x here n plus 1 factor can be written as n plus 1 into n factorial, n factorial get cancel, so remaining term is n plus 1. So when n tends to infinity, x by infinity, that is 0. So therefore limit of the sequence x power n by n factorial as n tends to infinity, that is 0. So with the help of the theorem. Now let us move to the next problem. Show that limit of m into m minus 1, m minus 2, and so on m minus, this is n minus 1 by n factorial into x power n is equal to 0. So when mod x is less than 1, again using the same previous theorem which we solved previous problem. Now let n is equal to m into m minus 1 into m minus 2 and so on into m minus n plus 1, this is plus here, n plus 1 by n factorial into x power n. Now let us define n plus 1, that is m into m minus 1 and so on m minus n plus 1 into m minus n divided by n plus 1 factorial into x power n plus 1. So now ratio of the nth term and n plus 1 term is limit as n tends to infinity, n plus 1 by n is equal to, so m into m minus 1 and so on m minus n divided by n plus 1 factorial into x power n plus 1 into, in the denominator we have an, so that n factorial comes to numerator divided by m into m minus 1 and so on m minus n plus 1 into x power n. X power n cancel, so m into m minus 1 up to m minus 1 plus 1 get cancel. So rest term is here n plus 1 factorial can be written as n plus 1 into n factorial, n factorial get cancel. So here this can be written as n plus 1 into n factorial, so get cancel. Rest term is limit as n tends to infinity m minus n, this term, and here we have x here by n plus 1. So this is equal to, you take n outside, limit as n tends to infinity n into m by n minus 1 into x divided by n into 1 plus 1 by n, get cancel, n get cancel. So when n tends to 50, this is 0, minus x by 1, that is equal to minus x. Since mod x is less than 1, so this implies minus x is also less than 1. Therefore minus x mod less than 1, so therefore you can write limit as n tends to infinity of the sequence m into m minus 1 and so on into m minus n plus 1 by n factorial into x power n is equal to 0.